What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another week of the podcast. Again, just by myself doing my thing and just going to talk about, a couple of things that I've been thinking about this week. And I'm not saying that like I'm trying to give people advice. I'm not trying to act like I know everything. I'm not trying to act like I'm a professional or whatever. I'm just trying to speak of my experience and what I've learned from it. I think that's the biggest thing that people can do when talking to someone else is just talk about like what happened with you. Like what happened with your experience with it. But before I get into all of that, I just want to talk about and see, let's see, what happened this week. Um, this week we had a little guest over for the weekend. We had a little purebred boxer puppy to puppy sit over the weekend, and she's a ball of energy, man. Ball of energy. It was fun. It was kind of like reminiscent of when we had my dog as a puppy, and it was cute. Like she cuddled with you. Um, but she was all over the place, and it was fun. It was challenging, but we got through it, and we had fun with her. Her name is Maisie. She's my sister-in-law's dog, and we just had a good time with her, and she had a good time with my dog. She got to play around in the backyard and jump around and run around and have another dog to play with. So that was fun. We went out to our friend's house and we had like good conversation. I think that's a lot of times. I think that's underrated. Is just good conversation. Just sit down and talk. A lot of times like when you try and go out to a restaurant, when you go, I don't know, so do some activity or something like that, I think the conversation kind of gets uh like thrown under the bed a little bit. It gets like forgotten about. You don't get to have like a good conversation, a lot of times when you're bowling or something, or you're going to a club or you're going dance. I don't, you know what I mean? Whatever you gotta do. Um, so I think just going over to the couple's house and just chilling and sitting down, and we even throw a game or two in there. We throw some trivia in there and see what's up, and just talking, and just I think that's the best way to get to know people, and you get to find out what really is um in their heads and their hearts and just whatever stuff like that. That was fun. What else? I don't think I did anything else. um I just know. So my job, right? If I don't have someone to come relieve me, I have to stay. So last night there was no one to relieve me, so I ended up staying for 4 more hours on top of the 8 I already did, and I ended up getting home at 2 a.m. So that whole time I was doing my job for those couple of hours, yeah, I was pissed off. And luckily, I have a kind of job where I'm really to myself and I'm walking around and I'm really thinking and talking to myself and really trying to calm myself down. And I really look at the positive things. I really try and look at the positive things that I'm getting out of this. Um, because I know, a lot of you guys probably deal with that at your job. You probably deal with incompetent managers or supervisors, and that people that shouldn't be in that position, people that shouldn't be doing that job. But what are you going to do? How can you just stay mad at that and not move on and just let it bother you and let it ruin your day? So I chose not to do that. I chose to, try and take something good out of it, and, just really make sure that I wasn't going to let it ruin my, in that case, the next day, you know? So today, I ended up waking up at 7, so I got a good 5 hours. I think that's decent. You know, I might take a nap later, who knows? But I chose not to let that ruin my day. Not to let that, determine like what I'm gonna do. You know, so I got up, I had my pre-workout meal and pre-workout drink. You know, went to the basement, hit the weights. You know, hit the weights, came back upstairs after that, took my dog for a walk, got her settled, and then after that, ate my meal, and then hit the podcast. I don't know what I'm going to do later, but we're going to see what happens. But, I mean, if anything, I think that's just like something that I would tell people to do is just don't let those things like get to you. Don't let those things ruin the rest of your day. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be tired later, but um, you know, my feelings now compared to when I found out I had to stay, two different things because I chose to look at it positively and say, hey man, like there's no point in complaining about this. There's no point in worrying about this so much. Like just do it, get it over with, and move on. And that's what I just repeated to myself over and over again in my head. And I think that's really all you can do. That's all you can do, I consider myself the best therapist for me. Because I learn so much more when I'm talking to myself, rather than someone else telling me what to do. Because I don't know what kind of experience it. Yeah, they probably went to school for it. They learned all that kind of stuff, right? But I don't know. I know what's best for me, and I know how I learn, and I know how things work out for me, and I think it's just the best way for me. And whatever works for you, it's great. I just know I've been through therapy, I've been through medications and stuff like that, and I just know that having an outlet, like lifting or being able to recognize something in myself that needs to change or I need to work on, or I don't know, just something I need to talk to myself about. I talk to myself or I talk to God, either way, for me, that's what works. That's what works for me. But, starting off the week, trying to start off the week good, man. I was thinking to myself already, like, oh, really? We're going to start off the week like this? Like, it's going to be a shit week? And I was like, nah, man, I refuse. I refuse to have that. So I really tried to switch it up because you're in control. You can change the narrative of, just what things happen, depending on how you look at it. If you look at something and let it ruin your day, of course it's going to be a shit week. Because you're going to carry that with you on your back the whole week. You know what I mean? I choose not to do that. So anyway, 'cause today's Monday. Today is, what is today? August 3rd. And, we're in August already. That's crazy, man. I was just thinking the other day, like, we've been going through the whole COVID-19 thing since March. I mean, yeah, it was out before that, I get that. But really, when things started to pick up and, places started to close and all that kind of stuff, like, it's been since March. Like, we're almost at 6 months of this mess. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Like, we've never been through anything like this in our life. Like, it's definitely something that they put in the history book, right? You think they would put this in the history books? so kids, like younger kids, will learn about it. I don't know. Probably not, because we didn't learn about the what was it? The Hong Kong flu back in like '68. We didn't learn about that. We didn't learn about the Spanish flu, I don't think. Back in, what was it, 1915, something like that. We didn't learn about any of those, so, which is weird. You think you would. So I don't know. I don't know if this will go in a history book or not. It'd be pretty cool to like live through something like that. But yeah, man, I hope y'all are having well, I hope y'all will have a good week, because today's Monday and this is coming out Thursday. So yeah, so I hope y'all are having a good week. I know it's cliche, but that whole saying, like, shit, what's that saying? Carpe diem, right? Seize the day, I mean, it's a cliche thing to do, but it's a reason. There's a reason things are cliches, because they work. Those sayings like actually reach people and make people motivated, and they make people feel good and all those things, right? We got sports back coming on. You got hockey just started Sunday. You got basketball that's been on for a couple of days. Baseball's been going on. I've been invested in the AFL, Australian football. I've been watching that, and my Hawks got a big win the other day, so I'm excited about that. And they have a bye this week. A lot of good things starting to happen. That's why you can't pay attention to the news. It's funny that if you take your eyes off the news and you start seeing things like happening, you'll start seeing that good things are coming. You know what I mean? Because the media is just pushing all the negative. They're pushing it. They're pushing it down into your eyes. They're pushing it down your throats. They want you to panic. They want you to be scared. They want you to rely on their news to read and stuff like that. They want you, and you shouldn't live your life that way. You shouldn't live your life by the news, because it's all BS. They contradict themselves all the time. You'll see one article say one thing, and then a couple minutes later they'll post an article that's completely different than what they just posted. I'm like, what? It doesn't make sense to me. They're not trying to help anyone, and that's not what I'm about, man. I'm all about trying to help other people. Because there's ways I've been able to help myself, and I'm like, yo, if I can, help someone else like that, like with the same issue or something, that'd be great. At least one person, everyone wants to help somebody, you know what I mean? So, on that note, let's get into this podcast. It's my foundation. It's my faith. It's my work ethic. It's my drive. It's everything that I've tried to build for myself that has made me who I am. I'll do what it takes to make you believe. What I was thinking as I was just kind of like strolling around my job, and this is where I get like all my ideas. This is where I get all my thoughts. This is where I get just everything that comes to me out of nowhere. Sometimes these thoughts just come out of nowhere. I'm like, oh man, what made me think of that? You ever have those moments where something just hits you? And that's where it makes me think like that's just God giving me that thought. That's God giving me that idea. He's putting that in my head and be like, hey man, do something with this. So what got me thinking was I was thinking about like people say I don't care what people think. I'm a big component of that. I say that a lot, but then I really dug deep into that statement, right? Like I don't care what people think. Okay, what kind of people? What people? Don't you care? And for me, I don't know about you. So I'm not judging you. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm saying everything, how I feel about it and my experience with it. Um, and another thing, which is important, why when I ask these questions, like I want feedback into the on the hotline. This is why I created the hotline so you guys could give your feedback to what your experience is and not me just not ranting about mine. You know what I mean? And we can feed off each other. So, as always, the hotline is 302 313 6429. All right. So, anyway, I don't care what people think. What people? So, for me, what people is people that I'm never going to see again. People that I don't care what their thoughts are about me. And I don't care what their thoughts are about me is because I don't know them personally. I don't have feelings for them personally. I don't have any love or expectations of them. I don't know. I don't for someone I don't know, I don't really care that much. Because they don't really mean anything to me. It's nothing, we don't have anything. But then I realize I do care what people think. It's just a matter of their specific group of people, you know? My grandparents, I care what they think. My parents, I care what they think about me. So much that I'm just trying to be the best me I can. And I know they're proud of that. I get that. They're proud of me no matter what. They always say that, whatever. But to me, I don't feel that. Because I guess I have higher expectations for myself. So I feel like I have to do this one thing that's been in my mind. And once I accomplish that hey, this is something that my parents never thought I'd do or anyone ever thought I would do. You know, for me, I'm all about proving people wrong. Just because of the way I was when I was younger. I'm sure a lot of people thought like I would never be anything just because of the way I was. And for me, I have my own personal motivation for that to kind of like move forward, and do things differently. You ever think that way? You ever think like even though your parents are proud of you, even though you have people in your corner like rooting you on, you don't really have any haters or anything like that, but you still kind of make up something in your head that makes you like hungry to move forward and to get that thing that you want and to do the thing that you want to do. And that's what I think kind of I do with myself. I just kind of I make stuff up in my head, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it works for me. But so then kind of branching off from I don't care what people think. I thought about okay, so if someone told me I don't care what people think, I would ask them, and this is what I thought, how would I feel if I was able to look down and see my own funeral and to see no one there? Because that would really show you if you, what people thought about you. If they thought about you like well enough to show up to your funeral. I don't know. It's, which posed the question of how do you want to be remembered? And I think about that all the time when I'm doing stuff. When I'm shooting for my goals, I'm like, how do I want people to remember me? And it's not just shooting. It's not just doing things. It's how you are as a person. What are people going to say about you when they go up on the stand at your funeral? Or if anyone shows up at all? Like, that shows what kind of impact that you made. That just kind of shows you what people thought about you, how many people cared about you. And the fact that you're gone is going to change their life forever. And I'm sure some of you don't care. I'm sure some of you don't care about how you make other people feel, or how many people are going to be at your funeral, or what kind of impact you make on other people. I didn't care about that either. I really didn't. But then it took a lot of work on myself, and I think I'm at a point now where I've worked on myself so much that I am able to help other people with it. And I don't go looking to be a therapist, to be people's therapist. You know what I mean? I don't do that at all. What I do is, people come to me and, we're just having a casual conversation and they're talking about their life and stuff like that. And all I'm giving them is positive feedback. I'm not saying, oh, well, that sucks. I don't know what you're going to do about that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give them some positive feedback and, just try and lift them up and make them feel good about whatever they got to do. And make them feel like they're on top of the world, that they can do it. That's what I'm about. That's what I love to do. Because there's enough negativity in this world that can tear you down if you listen to it too much. So there's no point in being negative on yourself. There's so much weight that sits on our shoulders, especially during the times that we're going through right now, man. I mean, between all these arguments and all these different things that we can't control. We can't change them. We can't. People say, oh, yeah, you can change it because you just vote. You vote and you get. Yeah, but you can't control. You control who you vote for. You can't control if they win. So okay, so what if the guy you voted for or the girl you voted for loses? What are you going to do then? You can't rely on that. Do what you can do. Do what you can do for yourself. Do what you can do for other people. And that's how you leave an impact. You leave an imprint on someone's life, in their mind, in their heart. They'll be doing something and be like, oh man, that's what so and so told me. I wonder what they're doing. You know what I mean? I try and talk to people about my faith, about health and fitness, about, it's stuff I have experience with, and I don't claim to be professional in anything, because I'm still learning every single day. And everything I do, I'm still learning, and I'm never going to push something on someone. And that's something big that I want people to see about me? You know? So what is something that you want people to take from you? What is something that you want someone to see you doing? You know, I love the saying lead by example. Why do I love that saying? Because there's so much in it. There's so much to be unraveled. Because doing the smallest things by, I don't know, saying good morning to someone, or I don't know, just letting someone know that you're there for them because they're having a bad day, can impact someone's life. And also someone could be watching you. Someone could be watching you, and you know, I'm not perfect at all. Not even close. And there's a lot of times I'll do something and then I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Or I'll say something, you know, like I still have a problem with the way I talk around like my nephews and nieces and stuff like that, you know. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't be talking like that. And instead, you know, like speak positively about things and just let them know that that can happen. You can do that. You know, you don't got to talk the way other people talk. And you can do what you want to do. Do what you think is right. You know, and other people will follow. Because they look at you and they're just like, I like the way he does things. I like the way she does things. You know, yeah, it's not status quo. It's not the popular thing to do, but it's, I don't know. I think it makes more of an impact long term. You're going to leave an imprint on someone's life, and that's huge. And that's something that I always, you know, I can't control that, but I can control what I do. You know, I didn't realize at work how many people watch what I do. And it kind of excites me a little bit. I was like, yo, that's cool. Like, you know, people telling me, you know, like I want to be like you. I want to be like you, Ben. Like you do the job really well and all this other stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's not a hard job to do, but that's for me. You know, for me, I think it's nothing, whereas someone else thinks it's everything. So that's why I'd say, like, even the little things, you gotta, um, I don't know, just do them right and try and live the best life that you can and live it the right way. But I love that thought of, like, how do you want to be remembered? You know, what would you want to be remembered as? Because no one wants, you know, of course, like you'll be dead, right? So you can't see yourself. But if you were able to look down at your own funeral and you saw no one there, how would that make you feel? I'll feel like shit, to be completely honest. You know what I mean? No one doesn't want to feel not cared about. People want to be loved. We search for love. People go through some crazy things to gain love from people. It's just it's a human thing. But yeah, so, and also kind of with this too, um try not to be something you're not. You know what I mean? Um oh man, I forgot I have okay. So let's go back. So I have two stories that one is bad and one is good. For the question, how do you want to be remembered, right? Okay, so let's do the bad one first. the one where I felt the most embarrassed, and I felt like crap. I felt like I could have done a lot better, and I felt like I just let people down. So the story is, I believe it was my senior year of high school, and we were having our end of the year soccer banquet. Soccer season's over. We were giving out awards at this banquet, and me and another guy, we were captains, and the banquet was going towards the end of it, and coach asked, "Hey, who wants to stand up and say something about your captains?" Because we were also seniors, so that was our last soccer season. So a couple guys stand up and say something about the other guy, right? Coach says, "All right, who wants to say something about Ben?" Yo, it was crickets. No one, not even my own brother. No one stood up. And I kind of like laughed it off and acted like goofy about it, like it didn't bother me. But really, I sat and I was like, wow. Like, was I really that much of a loser that I couldn't make an impact at like being a leader? Or was I a leader? Like, what kind of example was I giving to these dudes? I didn't leave an impact. I didn't leave an imprint. I didn't do nothing for them. I was a captain and I didn't do anything. I acted like I was just another dude on the team. And it showed. It showed, and I regretted the way I acted the whole season in that one moment. Cuz in that one moment, I felt so low. I felt so small. And it sucked. It sucked being in that position, and I don't know, I just felt like a failure. But going into, let's say, so that was senior year, and then so this past April I turned 30. My wife had got a lot of videos from like a lot of friends and family, and like an old client of mine, who I was pretty successful with, that I haven't talked to for a while. And her and my dad kind of collabed and made a video. And watching the video and hearing these things that people were saying about me, it was just like, this isn't real. People don't think these things about me. But I guess they do, because they were all saying like something very similar to each other. And it was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest thing. And it's like, I'm not being cocky or anything right now. Like, if anything, I'm humble, because it really showed me how much work I've put into myself. That I can leave, an impact and make people think very similar things about me, and that made me feel good. Because again, watching that video, like my mind went back to that soccer banquet. I was like, man, Ben, like we really did something. We've really been working on ourselves. We've been, just really trying to do better, trying to be a better human, trying to be better for other people. Be a better brother, be a better son, be a better grandson, be a better husband. All those different things. And I feel like I have, but I continue to try and strive to do more. Like, I don't want to give up. I don't want to just settle with where I'm at. I want to keep doing more. And it's just one of the coolest things, um, when you've been at a low like that, and to watch that video and to hear things like I really hope that you guys can see how far you've come in your life and experience something like that, because it's just one of the coolest things. But also, when you talk about being remembered and moving forward with your life, to make sure that you stay true to yourself and you're not afraid to stand up for what you believe in. The one of the biggest things for me is that, I do have a Christian faith. I don't like to, um, label myself as a Christian just because of, um, a lot of people that cause hate and that cause, just different things, and I just don't agree with that, label themselves as Christians. And when I talk to someone about my faith, I don't want them to see, oh, he calls himself a Christian, so he's just like all those other people. I don't want to be that way. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be a Christian, right? I have that same belief. I believe in Christianity. And I talk to a guy all the time that's an atheist. He makes fun of it. He calls it a fairy tale. He jokes around with it, you know what I mean? But guess what? I don't hate him as a person. Because he just doesn't know the feeling. He doesn't know the experiences that I've had. And again, that opens me up to that conversation. Like, hey man, like, why do you feel that way? What makes you feel that way? You know, and a lot of times he don't know. So, it's hard to talk to someone that, that's like that, but it is what it is. He believes what he believes, and if he wasn't curious, he wouldn't be asking me questions about it. But he asks me questions all the time. And I'm happy to just tell him like what God's done in my life. And for me, that's all it is. But that goes to being true to yourself and standing up for something that you believe in. And because you'll never be happy being anything but yourself. And I got that quote from Girl Meets World, so check it out. um, but yeah, so because you know deep down who you really are, and if you're trying to act like someone else, why do you think that you'll be happy? Why do you think? Why do you think that's gonna make you happy? Because you think that's gonna get you remembered more than just being yourself? No, how about you be yourself and do better? Create something for yourself that you can leave that imprint on other people and allow them to remember you, or remember something about you, or remember what you did for them. You know, the moment, like, say it was raining and you just like ran out and you held an umbrella so they can get into the. It's just little things that people remember. I've had old clients tell me like, I always remember you telling me blah blah blah, whatever words I just, a lot of times I just like spit out words. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time because I get so into it. I get so into being positive. I get so into motivating someone to do something more. Like, and that's why I need to live my own life that way. That's why you need to live your life that way. Because if you don't live your life that way, how you gonna tell someone else to do that? You can't. And no one's gonna ask you about that. No one's gonna ask you for advice or anything like, you know what I mean? No one's gonna want to talk to you. So you'll never be happy being anything but yourself. And a label doesn't and can't define everything that you are. Like I said, I don't label myself as a Christian because that I feel like my relationship with God is more than that. I feel like my faith is more than that. It's not a religion to me. It's not. It's my life. It's a life I want to live. It's just so hard to explain. And I would love I'll answer any type of questions, like feel free to ask, but it's very hard to explain into words is because there's so much emotion to it and there's so much feeling to it. It's crazy. And keep in mind that, yeah, I was raised that way. But I became like this with this kind of emotion, this kind of passion about my faith only 2, 3 years ago, maybe. Maybe not even that. I don't know. And again, that's come with a lot of work on myself. So I encourage people to always be working on themselves, whether it's got to be physically, it's got to be spiritually, it's got to be mentally. Mental health is a big thing now. I mean, it's always been, but like it's very like prominent and very well known now. And don't let yes, I understand some people need medication. But I think most people just kind of turn to it because they ain't got nothing else to turn to. They don't want to handle it themselves. They don't want to find something to take that anger out, to help them with their depression. You know? I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it's hard, for me being positive all the time. Sometimes I have that one time a month where I'm just like, I beat myself up. I knock myself out. But then somewhere along the line, my conscience comes back and it's just like, nah, man, don't listen to that and just wake up. Our minds are so powerful. Our brains are a powerful mechanism. And we have to be able to find some kind of control because a medication is not going to do that. Another person you're talking to, it's great to be able to have someone to talk to, but that person's not going to do it. If you put yourself in situations and you learn it from experience and you really learn things about yourself and you know what you can do in that situation, you know how to handle it because you know what you can do. You know what you're capable of. And the more you're trying to work on yourself, the more you find that you're capable of more than what you think. It's crazy. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. That's why I speak about it so powerfully, is because I don't know about you, but for me, I want to be remembered as someone that did something for someone. Someone that did something for other people. Yeah, I love doing stuff for myself. I don't know. Mostly for me, right now, it's trying to make something for my family. You know what I mean? It's trying to really create a life for myself. And I've been so blessed to be able to try and do that. And that's another thing is just don't take things for granted and just really think positively and get out of the negative. Get out of the social media. Because once you look up from your phone or look away from the TV, you'll see things are more positive than what you think. Go outside, take your dog for a walk. Go exercise. Work on your mental health. Do what you gotta do. Do what you think will work for yourself. And just everything will be okay. And just know that it all depends on you. It all depends on you and what kind of people you think, or you want. I don't even know how to say that. What kind of people do you want to care what they think about? You know what I mean? You care what a random person thinks about you, what they say about you? You care? Do you care what someone that loves you says about you? But you really should care about what you think about you. I think that's the biggest thing. I don't work out for no one else. I work out for me because it helps me in many ways. It helps me physically. It helps me mentally. In a lot of ways, it helps me spiritually. And I think if you open your mind, you open your heart to all that, and just remember, and just think about how you want to be remembered. How you want other people to see you when you're gone, or like remember you. Like, what are they going to say? Are they going to say anything? Just open yourself to being that kind of person, because I know you care. Everyone does. Everyone wants love, no matter what you say. But yeah, man. Whew, that was powerful. But anyway, I just hope y'all have a good rest of the week, and enjoy your weekend. Make some memories, have some experiences, be with people that you love, have some conversations. But not just regular conversations, have some deep conversations, get into people's minds. And really, really, really feel what they're feeling. Just ask questions. You ever sit and just like talk to someone and just ask them questions? It's crazy, man. It brings up a huge, deep conversation. So, yeah, definitely try that out. But yeah, I hope y'all just have a good week. Keep your heads up through all this virus stuff and everything that's going on in the world. The world can be a bad place. It can be a good place. It's all about how you look at it. So just remember, how you want to be remembered. But I love y'all. I thank y'all for supporting the podcast. I thank y'all for, feedback. I thank y'all for, following me on Instagram, subscribing on YouTube. Just little things, man. I thank you for listening. And I just ask that you continue listening, and then see if we can get more, interaction. See if we can get more calling in and stuff like that. We can see what's up. So, I thank y'all again, and I hope y'all have a good rest of the week. And this is Strong Tower Podcast. I'm Ben Hamrick. We're out. Peace.